before we start our meeting today, we're going to stand and we're going to have the pledge, and then we're going to have the invocation, and then we can be seated. So we'll all stand, face the flag.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing. I'll ask you, Ron, if you will give the invocation.
Sure. Let's pray, please. Father, we're grateful for today. For your mercy, we just ask that you'll bless our meeting, bless the board, help us to have a clear mind, understanding. It's your will to be done. We ask for your hand upon our community, upon our leaders. Let us put, Lord, our own agendas behind us. Ask for your grace and your mercy. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Ron. Speaking of our regular meeting, I will call the meeting of June 16, 2014 to order. First order of business will be roll call.
Jane Oakley. Present. Fran Schomel.
Present.
Leonard Urban.
Present.
Mike Bishop.
Present.
Ron Coldiron.
Present.
Let the record show that all are present. We have a quorum and we can do business. There are 3 sets of minutes before you. I'm not going to attempt June 6th, June 11th, and June 2nd. What's your pleasure?
I move we accept the minutes for the regular meeting on June 2nd and the special meetings on June 6th and 11th of 2014 approved as submitted.
Second.
Got a motion and a second that we accept the minutes for those 3 meetings as they were sent out to the members. Is there any additions or corrections? None appearing, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Our first order of business today is going to be Mr. Richardson has made a request from the attorney, and I'll let you take that, John, if you will.
Right. Well, as you all know, he's now suspended without pay, or with pay, pardon me. Suspended with pay, and there's been a desire that he not receive pay. So he's now agreed through his attorney to go on administrative leave without pay until a matter is resolved that is now pending in Superior Court, Fayette Superior Court, having to do with his protective order. They filed a motion to modify the protective order to allow him to have possession of his service revolver. And the judge has to hear that, and that could be either weeks or months from now. We just don't know. So I'd recommend that we place him on administrative leave without pay. And we'll enter into, if you agree with that, we'll enter into a formal agreement to that effect, which will be signed by all parties involved. And then once the court rules, we can go on with our disciplinary hearing if the judge does not modify the protective order.
Can I ask what the start date would be with the administrative leave without pay for you?
Today.
Today? Okay. Just wanted to verify.
Further discussion?
Why would he is on administrative leave with pay now? Why would he request to be without pay? I guess it's a little question in my mind.
Well, we had a hearing set Friday, and he wants to, or his attorney wants to get a ruling on his matter pending in Superior Court. And that's a reasonable request. That's a modification of that, if granted, would change the whole complexion of the matter. So we have to find out.
I think it was a matter of negotiations between our attorney and his attorney because this may take some time, and he knew that this board didn't want to continue with pay on administrative leave. I think that was pretty evident. The board's complexion was showing that.
Oh, I can see it very clearly.
And I think it's only fair to the taxpayer that, you know, the fact that he's on administrative leave is no fault of the city or the taxpayer. It's a ruling of the court that we had nothing to do with. So I think it's reasonable to put him on administrative leave without pay I do want it to be documented, and I don't know if it's exactly what we should be
Let
doing.
me say, you know, I agree, and I think we all was on the same track as suspending his pay or whatever. It just seems funny that now he is wanting to agree to this.
Well, I think they felt that we wouldn't continue this thing if we didn't take without pay, because we were at that point where the majority of us were in
So-
favor of
So there's
suspending him without pay, and
there's not another motive there somewhere that we don't understand, I hope, for some reason, I don't.
He wants to get a ruling on his petition to modify his protective order. That's very clear.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Is there any specific reason, Mr. Baker, why he is requesting an attorney to approve him to carry a firearm while he is on leave?
Well,
So he could work.
that's the reason that we're
Yeah,
saying
that
he
would-
can't be a policeman.
take our argument away, why we placed him on suspension. That was our primary reason, because he couldn't carry a gun.
If he can carry a gun, he can be a policeman.
That's correct. The chances of the protective order being modified are not great,
That's, okay,
but always a chance.
Well, I just hope there's not another motive here somehow that
that's
we're
my
not.
point.
The other issue, with this legal wrangling back and forth, I'd have to call you together about every 4 days. With this not being paid, we can let this go until they're ready to go to court. And I think it's our best
He
issue.
will continue to receive benefits.
He'll receive his health insurance and longevity. There won't be any pension paid, or will there?
I think the pension's paid, but I don't think he doesn't receive any longevity pay.
Okay. We'll have to get a ruling on that from the attorney. But the law says he receives benefits during a leave.
Oh, yeah. He would receive certain benefits if he were dismissed.
And
He's
John,
earned already.
what's the monthly charge to the city for their insurance? Can you give us the estimated cost?
I think he's on a family plan, and the city's probably $2,200 a month, maybe. I'm not right in that ballpark.
Sure, but they pay 10%, the city pays 90%.
So we'll have to have him come in and pay his 10%.
Well, like I say, I just hope there's not another motive here that we're missing
Yeah,
somewhere.
I do too.
Mike's a good point, Ron, I think.
I do too.
Hopefully there isn't, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Sure, okay.
None of these determinations are good, but for the taxpayer and for us, and not to get into this wrangling and have to meet every 2 days and listen to another court order, this may go back and forth all summer. I think it's our best option at this point. At least we get out of paying the salary.
Well, bottom line is, we don't have to go to court and argue the issues of restraining order,
Yes.
which we don't want to do, and
Time
that's
consuming and cost
exactly
consuming.
what would happen.
So if you're through with discussion, I'd like to have a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve whatever he wants. What is it again?
Administrative leave without pay.
Okay.
This will also then,
Yes, thank you.
the hearing for the 20th is off, so
Yes.
should the motion carry that, John?
It would be automatic, but sure, we can add that, that'd be all right.
Yeah, if you'd add that in.
Okay, do it, and then we
Be
will
extended until further notice
That
without
postpones
pay.
the scheduled
Until
June
we're
20th
notified, until we're
disciplinary
notified,
hearing.
yeah.
You'll write that up for us.
I'll second that
Got a
motion.
second?
I'll second.
Now, is there further discussion? Is there anybody out there have anything to say about it? Would like to? None appearing, we'll have a roll call vote.
Jane Oakley,
Yes,
Fran Sholman.
Yes.
Leonard Urban.
Yes.
Mike Bishop.
Yes.
Ron Coldiron.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Okay, Marlene Grimes, where are you?
Marlene couldn't make it.
Okay, I didn't think you looked like her. Come on up. Tell us, if you'll introduce yourself and tell us your position, and
I'm Kellis Allen, I'm the director of the American Legion Riders here in Connersville.
tell us what you want to do.
What I'd like to do in the past, this will be our 4th annual Cruise for Kids. In the past, we had blocked Central Avenue off between 5th and 6th on the day of the event, about 8 a.m. What we're trying to get done this year, in the past, we started off at 40 bikes and about 8 cars. Last year, we had 137 bikes and about 28 cars. It's getting kind of crowded between 5th and 6th. What we'd like to do is to build a block Central Avenue off between 4th and 5th and 5th and 6th and see about getting access to the courthouse parking lot that day of the event for vendors.
Let me correct you, that's not the courthouse parking lot, that's a city parking
City
lot.
parking lot.
What day of the week
The
is
parking,
this?
it's on a Sunday.
On Sunday,
July
okay.
20th.
Okay,
The parking area around the courthouse.
that's good. We'll buy
What's the,
that.
what's the time?
I got a question. Are you wanting to block off Fifth and Central too? I mean.
No, I know that road really needs to
So
be
you,
left
so
open,
you just want from 4th to 5th and then 5th
5th to
to
6th.
6th and then east and westbound traffic would be.
East and westbound traffic will not be altered.
So they can stage their ride.
Right, that'll be so we can stage our ride, and when we get back, we'll have the cars between 4th and 5th parked, and then the motorcycles between 5th and 6th parked. That way we've got room to actually show them, because we have the bike and car show following the ride.
And what's that date?
July 20th.
July 20th?
Yes, it's a Sunday.
What's the time?
We're looking to block the streets about 8 a.m. so that we can stage for the ride, and approximately end about 8 p.m.
Mayor, I'd make a motion to accept this as written, as long as the chief agrees with the traffic control or whatever he has to do there.
I have no problem with
A second.
A motion and a second to allow this ride in block 5th and 6th, up to 5th and 6th, and 4th and 5th, and use the city parking lot July the 20th from 8 to 8. Any further discussion? Anybody out there object? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Cal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Request for a bucket drive, Faith Christian School on June 27th, and homeless shelter on July 19th, Ken Fuller. Ken Fuller, anybody else here representing Ken Fuller?
He never showed.
Okay. We'll skip over that one and go to, we have a request to have a march or a parade type march carrying the Ark of the Covenant on August 9th, and I think the Grays are going to present that, if you'll come forth. Carleen Gray, if you'll state your name and your position.
I'm Carleen Gray. I'm just an evangelist in the city. The reason I'm here is we feel the need to bless our city. We want the churches and anyone that's interested to unite with us together and to have a parade on August the 9th. We'd like to walk from 5th Street to the John Miller Building, where we'll be holding services that coordinate with the parade. We want to begin praying over our city and asking God's blessings and to bring back the glory to our city, and pray that God would help us to bring in new businesses to meet the needs of the people in our community. This will be done on the sidewalks, and it will be done in order, and we won't be interfering with any traffic.
it. She, Vonda and her talked it over with me and we'll try to provide traffic control at
Cross sections.
well, at the main cross section, it'd be a Main Street Market and also a 28th Street going across.
Is that a Sunday carnival,
Now that is on a Saturday.
Saturday?
What time does it start?
We'd like to start about noon.
About noon?
What's your pleasure, Board? Sure.
See no reason not to.
Give me a motion.
I make a motion to have the Ark of the Covenant march. I guess that's August 9th. You know, one guy touched the Ark of the Covenant and died, you know. Okay. But yes, I would make that motion for her.
I'll second.
Wear gloves.
I don't think that would help. I think you gotta be holy.
Any further discussion? Anybody out there? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
Thanks. 2 seconds.
I want to skip C and go directly to F. Huh?
That's
E, I got a line through it, looks like F to me. It's E. The Historic Preservation Committee is in the process of putting a sign back on City Cemetery. I don't know if you're all old enough to remember, but City Cemetery had kind of a serpentine sign over the top of the gate. And they're in the process of building it. That's what it's gonna look like with the letters on it.
Nice.
It's gonna look just like it used to look, and they're gonna replace that. But they need permission to go ahead and do that. I told them I didn't think it would be a problem, but you had to approve it. It's in the works right now. As you can see, they've got the serpentine made, and they're gonna begin and then it's gonna be, I believe, powder coated, so that it'll stay there, and it's gonna be installed. And they're gonna have a little ceremony when they install it. So I need permission for that. I told them they didn't need to come here today, that I'd ask you for permission.
What group again?
Historic Preservation Committee.
Okay.
I move that we allow Historic Preservation to proceed with the new sign for the city cemetery.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to put the new sign that looks like the original on the city cemetery. We don't know where the original went. Some kids stole it, and it's disappeared. Any discussion, anybody out there? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. The next two resolutions, 2014-24, 2014-25, are non-reverting in the park and uniform rentals to refunds in 25. If you don't have any problem, I'd like to take both those together.
Would you like to read the amount of money involved?
$3,800 non-reverting going to day camp, center event, softball, archery, and soccer, and transfer in the park, $200 from uniform rental to refunds. And, I guess the uniform rentals, after we declared the financial emergency, they quit wearing our clothes and they wear their own clothes, and we're actually getting a rebate.
Good.
And they did that on their own. I didn't
Yeah, I
ask them to.
remember.
They did it on their own.
Like to see more of that.
Make a motion to accept the resolution 2014-24 and 2014-25 as written.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carried. Department matters, utility department, Superintendent Dave Nutty.
Mr. Mayor. Ben,
Yes, wait a
please.
minute.
May I be excused, please?
Yes, you certainly can. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jane.
Bye.
Okay.
Hi, Dave.
Dave, on the union issue, I received a call right at noon from the union executive, and he has not had the opportunity to study this. He would like to, for it to be extended to the next Board of Works. So with the board's consent, this grievance with the union will wait until next board, okay?
Fine.
Can I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion that we table this request until the next meeting, Your Honor,
Second,
on
please.
the report on this grievance violation.
And we got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carried. So we got that. We don't have to mess with that, Dave.
Okay, good.
But you won't be around then.
No, but I gave you enough documents. I think it should educate you, not only the grievance, my stance on it, the documentations that the office uses, the actual service order when someone was reporting the issue. If you have any questions before the end of the week, be sure to call me
Okay.
and do what I can to fill you in.
Okay, if you want to go ahead with your report then, Dave.
Okay? We have first of all, update, Grand Avenue project, we call it. They're currently working on 21st Street. We've had little issues, no issue more than just minor things. We visited the site, made a decision, and went on. So the project is going real well. And they will need, I think Diana maybe is going to handle that after I'm gone. And but someone also with the skills of water, wastewater should be there at the same time. Because there are decisions, little decisions made here and there. So. We have a request for trash collection by a business at 1710 Western Avenue, the Beauty Bar, operated by Nicole Kelsey. assuming by the name that it's a beauty shop, and requesting trash collection.
Well, I move we approve trash collection 1710 Western.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Also, gave you in your packet information about the Milton Sewer Agreement. With that agreement, we agreed not to make any adjustment to any rates for the first 3 years of the agreement. Thereafter, it can raise no more than 3% per year. As you see by the cover letter that I gave you, there's been 2 rate increases since they have started having us treat their wastewater. I'm suggesting that there be beginning this year with their October billing, that'd be a 3% rate increase and service charge increase, and 3% thereafter each year until they equal what the Connersville residents would pay. We've done our obligation of no interest, no percent raises for 3 years, and it's now time to start asking that they pay their portion also.
What will 3% amount to, Dave?
It currently is $1.56 for 100 cubic feet. It'll now be $1.61 for 100 cubic feet.
How much are we getting from them on a monthly basis? Can you tell me?
I'm sorry, I should have looked that up and it didn't.
How much
Didn't look.
sewage are we taking?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Grant, I should have known that.
The answer to that one would have been quite a bit.
Now, there is there's in wastewater, there is a rate, and then there's a service charge. And the service charge is based on the size of the meter, and it's more per whatever size. They have a 4-inch. So we want to have a fee that matches other 4-inch meters. But we cannot raise their fees more than 3% per year. So I recommend, you can see by your cover letter, recommend 3% on the rate and the service charge every year until they meet, but do not exceed, what Connersville residents pay.
I think it would be 4 years or 5 years, if you have any way of knowing.
Well, it depends on if
we rate.
City of Connersville, right.
Right.
If for some reason the wastewater rates raise here, then they're still behind.
Sure.
I would ask, I'd ask John, does that keep us consistent with our contract with Milton?
Right,
Doing this?
David and I went over it at length.
I mean, it looked like it did, but I didn't.
Yeah, and we discussed several clauses in the contract, and it appears that this stays within the spirit of the contract.
I am obligated to the City of Connersville Utilities is obligated to give Milton a 90-day notice. If approved today, until the October billing, that's 121 days, so.
No, this has to go to city council, they set rates.
Okay,
If you approve it today, then you recommend to city council that they increase it.
okay. I haven't even thought about that. Yeah.
You can recommend it, but we can't set
And-
rates.
Yeah. And it's the rate and the service fee, service charge.
If there's no other discussion, I would make a motion to proceed with the rate increase to the Milton, what is it, Milton
Milton Sewer.
Sewer?
Yeah.
In respect to what Dave's recommended here and abiding by the contract, as long as it abides by the contract.
Send it to council for approval.
Send it to
You
council.
recommend it to the city council.
Yes.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Anybody here? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, you have on the agenda also number 4 and number 5. I have other things, but that's next in line if you want to address those.
I'll take this one, if it's okay with you.
Sure.
You have before you a black and red agreement. I've negotiated with the union, and we are requesting that one of the people that have the WT3 up at the water plant become the certified operator of responsible charge, CORC, and the union has agreed that either it'll be offered to the one with the most seniority. If he doesn't want it, it'll go to the one with the least seniority. They will take it. However, they wanted a change in the contract, which again, if you okay this today, the contract is approved by the city council, so it's a union contract. So this would be an addendum to the contract. And basically what it says that this agreement would be effective June 20th, which I believe is Friday, the day that he leaves, because he is now the person in charge. And the new one would take charge that day. And then on the bottom I added in there, management reserves the right to use management for the certified operator in charge, the CROC, if the Board of Works and Safety desires it and a person there is qualified. In some cases, in David's case, he operated it as a union employee and took charge of that for about 5 years. And then when he became assistant superintendent, he continued to do that as a management person. And when he became superintendent, he continued to do it as management. I wanted that option to be left open, and the union has agreed to that. So I don't think we have anything to lose by okaying this addendum to the contract. This contract would follow until it's up, and I think it's up in 15. And then this, we have to put this language in the contract again. But it protects us, does it not, John? We can either have a union person do it or management do it.
Right, that certainly gives that option. I presume it has to be agreed to by the union.
They have basically, but they'll have to vote on it, but.
They haven't voted yet.
But
yeah.
he said it would pass.
Right.
If you guys approve it, I gotta go to city council.
So David's doing it now as
Right.
director.
Right.
Well, why won't the new director do it?
Because I haven't found anybody with a WT3 and wastewater combined. Now, the director that you authorized me to hire, if he's hired, will get his WT3 in November, providing he passes the test, because he has 18 years in water.
And they need both WT3 and the DSL.
Yeah.
That is the IDEM certification, that was my question.
Yeah, those are IDM certifications.
The WT3 and the,
That's the class what the treatment plan is. A DSL is the class our distribution is.
so it's a WT3.
And if you are in charge of the treatment, that automatically makes you in charge of distribution.
Okay.
We have had more than one signatures on the same form in the past, but that has been a figurative signature showing support, but I have been the operator responsible charge for many years.
If you don't want to do this, I talked with the proposed new manager this morning. He has a plan where we can do it a different way if we don't want to do this, if we don't want a union person doing it. But we've set a precedent. David did it for 5 years as a union representative. I don't see a big deal with it. They're there, they work it every day, they know what's going on. I did agree to pay 50 cents an hour more for this position because we have to. There's a lot of responsibility comes with this position. You'll be called at night if there's a water break, and there's several other things that go along with it, and you are responsible for that water. So I did agree to that. The union originally asked me $250 a month, and I got down to 50 cents an hour, which is $80 a month. However, there's some overtime involved in that position because you have to work sometimes evenings and Saturdays and Sundays.
Will that call in, Your Honor, work by seniority, I presume?
No, it'll be the individual has the rating.
Has rated WT3 or DSL.
That's what I mean, okay,
Yeah.
if you get more, okay, that's what it is. You get more.
And this position, being a non-management position, unlike me, that what I went in whenever there's not whenever, often when there's a water leak or other issues, this guy would not. Because he's not supervising, his position is that by documentation, he has to make sure that there is no potential contaminant in that water line after the break.
He will go in if he's called. The operator in charge will go in. He'll be called in, he has to go in.
Well, that's up to you guys.
That's the reason that
He
I,
has no supervisory responsibilities.
no, but he has to see that the water line's fixed correctly and he has to issue the water boil.
Yeah, if there is one,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
The guys often repair water main breaks under pressure so they don't have to turn water off. Or they'll open up a hydrant to let the pressure release and get it down enough where they can control it and still not less than a minimum of 20 pounds.
But it's like the position says, in charge, operator in charge. Actually, he could stop him from fixing that even if he is union because of his position. He could stop him from doing it, or he could hold on a job. He is responsible for that water.
So that could relate, in case there was a confined space entry, he could stop them from doing that, right?
If it was gonna contaminate the water, or he felt the water wasn't gonna be safe, or if he wanted to issue the boil charge or whatever he wanted to do.
I got
He is in charge.
Okay.
Now, but I left number 4 in there. If you wanna change that over to management at a later date, you can simply do it. It's not a big deal.
Well, that's what I was wondering then, would this eliminate the 50 cents? You'd go back to 1881?
Yes, yeah. You only get that pay while you're
So
there.
this is really during the period after you've gone and the new
Yeah,
guy, whoever it is,
431
gets his
this Friday.
WT3.
Yeah.
Is that right? Would you recommend this, Dave? Would you recommend this 50-cent increase
Oh,
for this guy?
yes.
So we go to 1931 an hour from 1881. So who would make the decision when his replacement gets the WT3 that we want to?
The Board of Works.
Okay,
If the board, if you read, it says, if the Board of Works wants management to do this job, we
Okay.
have the right to do that. That's number 4.
okay.
That's the one that the
And
union,
they've agreed to that. You-
not yet, they
Not
gotta
yet.
vote. Once we approve it, they gotta vote, but we're running out of days. And I wanna tell you, if I don't have somebody on that job on Friday, they're gonna shut the valve off and we won't have any water. So, that's the
Being
way
a
it
man,
is.
man.
I've talked with IDEM and they're very specific. There'll be no water after that if I don't have someone in that position.
Yeah, it's a violation if you don't have one.
Do we need to make a motion on this memorandum of understanding? Is that what you want?
I want a motion that you'll accept this, right?
Okay. I make a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding for a position of a CROC person, and with the way it's written right here, especially with number 4. Yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll
There's a
second.
Any further discussion?
I guess it's a have-to case.
Yeah, you got that, that's right.
Unless you want to answer the
Now,
phone.
with one exception, I have Plan B in order, just in case this didn't go.
Oh,
I've got Plan B.
you got a
in
plan
order.
B?
Yeah.
Should we force it?
Should we
Force
listen to
his
Plan
hand
B?
and-
I'd rather you didn't, because it's gonna cost more than 50 cents an hour.
Oh, okay.
Leave it alone.
Jason, you wanna talk about this? You know all about this, don't you?
About what?
All about this water and this CORC.
I'm familiar with the people I work with, yeah.
Okay. Did we vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. You guys are tough sometimes.
Does this have to go before council then tonight because of that rate increase, Steve?
The salary ordinance will go.
Okay, just the salary thing? Okay.
And you have number 5 on your agenda also.
Okay, I have to ask the city council to add the 50 cents to the salary ordinance to cover this. I need a motion to cover that. We gotta change the salary ordinance.
So moved. That's
Second.
fine.
Second.
Any discussion, you understand that if this
Yes.
is approved, I gotta have the salary paid. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We'll recommend those 2 things to the... Okay, David, have you got anything else?
I also presented to you my recommendation on a personnel policy change regarding compensatory time that we know is comp time, and revised cover letter.
Okay, I'm gonna handle that in this way. I'm going
Sure.
to ask that, Mike, I want you and Jane to work with Julie on that. Okay, have a little meeting and go through that. We're not gonna hack that out here in front of
Okay.
God and everybody. You agree to do that, Julie?
Sure.
Mike, and I know Jane will have to talk to her.
Yeah, I got no problem. Just
Go through what David's recommended, and rather than us just do it in a crash course here, we'll go through that.
That's good.
Okay, thank you for recommending that, David. Anything else?
Yes. You know, we did have our sanitary survey by IDEM this past week, last Tuesday, and the majority of the survey was wonderful. Yeah, we get accolades for the records we keep, the manner in which we keep our equipment updated. They do go to every site, wells, booster stations, storage tanks, treatment plants. They go through your records. They look at everything. There are only a few minor issues, a few major issues that will be brought to attention in a letter to the mayor. Is that at our 9th Street standby water treatment plant, they want a visual and audible alarm in case there's a chlorine event. They want updated inspections on the treatment plant filters, updated inspection on the water storage tanks. They want the city of Connersville to look at the disappropriate unaccounted for water loss, and then be more active and thorough in the cross-connect backflow prevention program. Those right there are the biggies, and the other things were incidental.
can we get a list of that?
There'll
It's
be a
not
letter.
official. That's not official.
I
It's just-
understand.
Yeah,
it was
within
just
2
during the
weeks you'll
meeting.
get that. You'll get an official notification from
Okay.
IDEM.
We
But
do
our
that.
guys
I
have
just
done a
don't
real
like to
good
get it.
job keeping things in order, and I'm real proud of them.
He says it went well.
So are there considerable
I wasn't
leaks
excited.
in your
Usually does,
opinion,
yeah.
in our system? That seemed to be one of the things you mentioned.
That is one of the issues. The inaccurate meters. We've got 22% of our 2-inch meters are more than 30 years old. And meters, the longer you have them, slow down, they don't speed up.
Say that again, 22, what is
I
it?
have
22%.
22% of our 2-inch meters are 30 years or older.
Those are both.
40% or 41% is 20 years or older.
And the 2-inch are residential,
We have 98 total of the 2-inch.
commercial.
That's the 2-inch, yeah.
40%.
commercial.
We'll look at.
And all those things, and we've been in the last few years working
22%
towards
20-year-old, there's about 100.
getting this worked out. And they've been patient with us. So there will be, in 6 months, there'll be a follow-up, not investigation, but they'll come and just do another survey and see where we are with all these things.
There's a lot of things about it I didn't understand. There's nobody ever told me. For instance, when we fill the pool, we put the fire hose in there and fill the pool. We can give the pool water to the city free, that's not a problem, but we have to account for the water. At least once a week, we wash out the amphitheater and the pavilion with a fire hose. Again, perfectly legal, but we have to document it. When we have a fire, I don't think the fire chief's here, yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
he is.
He has to estimate how much water he used on that fire and report it to the superintendent of the utilities. We've never done that before, and I don't think anybody ever told us we had to do that. If we do anything like sometimes we have them wash the street, or we have a spill in a gas station, or they practice with water, we have to, if we can't measure it, we have to estimate it. We have 1 meter and we got another meter ordered, right, for 2.5 inch hose. And then a lot of times we put a garden hose on a hydrant.
We have a meter for that too.
Yeah, but we haven't been using it. We've been kind of neglectful. Like, we fill the street sweeper all over town with a hydrant. We just hook it up. We can't do that anymore. We gotta, if we can't measure it, we gotta estimate. Like say the tank holds 250 gallons, then we estimate if we fill it. We use it, and we gotta document all that. So we're probably losing a lot of this water that's just been neglected. And we'll be more careful. I had a department head meeting Friday morning. All the department heads know that if they use any city water, it has to be either metered or estimated. The other thing I want, and I'll talk to you about this down the road, but we could put a master meter on the park. That's where we use the most of the water free. And then we could meter it and we wouldn't have to worry about it. But when you take into consideration with the leaks you have, by the time you get a leak fixed, you lose hundreds, maybe thousands of gallons of water, plus all this free water that we do. If we had that all accounted for, we probably wouldn't be in problem. So we're gonna tighten that up.
Good idea.
Also, you have in your packet a letter from Mary Ellen Glenn, our wastewater superintendent. Mentioned to you current conditions at in the digesters at the wastewater treatment plant and steps to make that more operable. She is available if you have any questions, but you can see there her letter, and on page 2 there near the bottom of the paragraph is her recommendation.
Since we're in the process of changing management, I think that's great. Mary Ellen has done that for us. Mary Ellen also has to report to IDEM how we're going to replace management. And her and I have to do that together, and I'm hoping here in a week or so I can tell you how we're doing that. I'm hoping. You still got till the 10th of October, no, 10th of September before you leave.
10th of next month.
10th of August, you said?
July, next month.
Oh. I don't hear well.
So you want to act on this, or?
She's coming out, yeah.
Very good.
I've had, I told you on there that I was gonna get you a cost of what it would cost to fix the other heater, and I've had my guy working on that for a couple weeks, and they do have that running now. It probably won't cost us anything to go ahead and start that up and switch digesters so we can clean the other one. You give me the go-ahead to do that. But are you guys all clear on what's happening in the digesters?
I read the thing. Clear is probably not a good word, but I did read.
Is this gonna all be done before you leave?
No, it won't be, but I'd like to get it started so the next person who comes in doesn't have a giant problem right off the bat.
Well, the only thing that could cost us a lot of money if something goes wrong, right?
I've got bids on what it was gonna cost. It could cost up to $200,000 to clean that out. But the only other costs that might be incurred are, let's say when we get in there, you know, nobody's been in there in 40 years. So the piping, there's the gas piping that's in there that puts the gas, that mixes the thing, is 1-inch steel. We don't know what shape that's in. The piping that transfers the sludge in and out is 4-inch cast iron. Have no idea what shape that's in.
Who's gonna do this, Mary?
Well, I've got 3 bids on it, so I don't know. We'd have to go through the bids and...
Okay, did you advertise the bids?
No, I didn't. I just was getting an idea what it was gonna cost so I could let you know.
I think...
One of them's sealed, the 2 of them are not.
What is the amount?
200,000.
Well, they're all 3 different.
But it's around 200,000.
Yeah, it could be that high. It depends on, this is also time sensitive because we have to haul out the sludge that we currently have stockpiled. We have to get rid of that. They're supposed to do that. They were supposed to do that in April, but they're looking to do that around July 4th. Once that's gone, then we can try to remove everything we can ourselves from the digesters. What you're going to be left in it with is the heavier solids and they're going to, that are stuck all around in the cone and on the side. And they're gonna remove all the trash and the solids, but they'll have to use high pressure to do that, actually get down in there. We don't have the personnel that can do that, or we would. We've done it before, but we don't have people to do it. And then they'll belt press it and haul it to the landfill. So,
Now, our belt presses aren't working, how are we gonna?
oh no, they bring in a portable one. One of the companies, the reason, it really should be bid out as you
Yeah,
suggest.
it's too much money,
because
we have to do it.
because one person gave me a price on gallons, one person gave me a price on dry tons.
Well, Mary Ellen, could you prepare the bid package so she can send it out?
I can sure try.
Okay, if you prepare the bid package, I think that's our,
Well, we need to have some specifications.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Break it
have
down.
identical units,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
That they need to present
Comparison.
their bids.
Right.
There are 3 of these things down there.
There are 3 digesters, correct. One of them is the primary digester where all the heating occurs. That, and the problem with this is we're losing so much of our capacity. When you lose the capacity in your digester, you lose the detention time. The detention time is critical for being able to land apply. So, I mean, we have rules that to follow for land application, and we're not, with that, before long, we're not gonna be meeting those.
that's what we're doing with all that sludge that's down there. We're waiting on them to apply to the land. She said July 4th they may start.
Yeah.
And we have a contract with that to get that out of there. And once that's out of there, then they can begin to clean this digester.
It's
But,
just not, we're not able.
I was thinking it was gonna be less than the amount we had to bid, but with that amount, we're gonna have to bid it out.
Okay. I can do
What
that.
are your 3 figures there, just for reference?
Oh, well, they're all in different, like one was $67,000, but they were hauling out just liquid sludge, but that was based on a minimum amount. Well, once they get in there with a hose, a fire hose, and start breaking that up, it's gonna be more and more and more. It's not gonna be 67,000. The other people actually came down and took measurements and figured how many solids were in there, how thick it was, how much water it would take. You know, so they did a more thorough investigation, so,
What was their price?
200, it was 200, around 200,000.
Well, if you can get some bid specs together, what you think needs to be done,
Okay,
and I know you know that.
yes,
Get that to Julie, we'll get it in the paper, we'll get it advertised so we can take bids,
okay,
okay?
I can
I
do
would
that.
hope we could get those bids before you leave.
I just want to move forward with it, so somebody's not stuck
It's
with
gonna
all
be
this.
tight, I know. You
I'm
get
sure
it,
we can do that.
if
Yeah.
you get it ready for me by tomorrow, I'll get it in the paper,
Okay,
okay?
okay, I can try,
Okay.
All right.
Well, you must be pretty close, because you know what's gotta
Yeah.
be done.
pretty close.
Get it to Julie.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mary.
Mary Ellen.
I also, I've asked Brad, our stockroom clerk, to seek prices about a fence around our valuables at the service building. That lot, although it is fenced, the fence is so that it's not unsightly from the street. That fence is often open, closed, for people to come in and buy bulk water.
Yeah.
They don't always close the gate, and we don't always know what they do while they're there. So my concern is what's happening with metal nowadays, that we might want to put a fence around our valuables. And I've asked him to start seeking prices on that. If you've been up to our service building and see where we have the valving and the manholes, rigging lids, and the catch basin rigging lids, and all those other metals up there. You know, we have an audit annually. I just hate to see that there's half a dozen missing. We never knew that.
Could we just fence, and I've been there several times, but I can't remember, could we just fence a pathway to the water where they get it rather than build a hole?
This will be about like a square between the stockroom building and where we park the trucks. There's a gravel area.
Yeah.
We want to do that. That's the main thing we want to do. That's where we keep all those metals.
Right in the southeast corner.
Yeah, it's almost right in the middle
Yeah,
of
it's right in the
the
middle of the
unit.
property,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, we'll look at that.
yeah. And to protect the fire, your area you're talking about, protect the fire hydrants, we may want to put at least a gate there because it's surrounded by buildings, so we could put a gate. But I'll have someone at a future meeting bring something to you. I really think it's important for us to.
You're leaving all these
keep-
notes for the new director, aren't you?
Yeah, yes, I've got pages.
We have a camera in there?
No. And see it, and there's there's a chain link fence on the north and west side, but on the east and south side, it's the vinyl fencing for appearance purposes.
Okay.
And we don't know
No,
what people
don't
might
say
do back
that
there.
on TV. Don't say that on TV.
All right. Also, I'd like to get rid of some scrap equipment. We have 6 old computers with the hard drives removed. They have no value to us.
We have a company that just notified us that they buy that stuff.
Okay,
It's in my computer. I was just looking at it this morning.
okay,
But we can do that.
all right.
How many computers you got? 6?
Yeah,
Okay.
currently have 6 with the CRT monitors.
Okay. And what else do you have?
Well, we still have those Fireflies that we're having an issue with
Is there
getting
any
rid of them.
metal
and
enough?
We have to wait until this Data-Matic issue is over with, or we can give them 60-day notice that we no longer use them, and neither one of those thresholds have been met.
Let's wait till we get the new meters.
We have 3,000 of those.
Yeah, let's wait. till
And
we-
the issue is the lithium battery that's in it.
Let's wait till we get the that.
Okay. But just on the scrapping of the computer equipment, if you so chose, the technology department at the Fayette County School System, there you go, they accept those things and then they get money for them and it goes back into their technology department. So you can choose however you want.
The thing I'm concerned about, Your Honor, is that we have to stay on top of it because of those lithium batteries.
Yeah.
That's
Now
another
that's
problem.
the
That's
the
the
Fireflies,
sensitive
which,
one.
I know
right.
what it is.
I want to stockpile them until we get all of them out.
I understand,
And
but
we'll
that's
sell
an
them.
And
environmental
we're
issue.
really getting there. That's,
Okay.
we've done real well. We've got, we're now into the 5,000 of the 6,000 total units to be replaced. So
Let's take these 6 computers, give permission to get rid of those. Someone make a motion to that effect.
I'll
We'll
make
either
a
give them to
motion
the
that we-
school or we'll sell them to this company.
I'll make a motion that we dispose of them ever how you want.
Okay.
Second, no problem.
Motion and second, these 6 computers. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
and you'll direct me on which way you want me to go on disposing.
Yeah, I'll call this company and see what they'll give them.
Okay.
And we'll talk to school and see how valuable. Since we
Okay.
got permission, we'll do it. We
I'm
need to-
working through Ron Best.
I need
at
to
CEI.
record all the serial numbers of them.
Okay. Okay. Also, when we have the new registers, that's the clock that's on top of the meter, when we put the new registers on there with the new transmitters, we take the old register off. It's just a plastic unit, plastic gears, plastic everything. And now we are stockpiling those.
And there
And
metal
they-
guts in them though?
There may be a pin in between some of the plastic gears, but they're plastic. They're 95% plastic, if not more. And we're stockpiling those, and we don't know what to do with them other than scrap them. They have no value to us, and I don't know that being all plastic, they'll have value to anyone else. We cut all the wires off of them to recycle the wires. We do everything we can to recycle, but those plastic units, we're not going to have anything to do with those. So we'd like to scrap those also. We will eventually have 3,000 of those.
Yeah, let's wait until we get the meters in.
Okay. Also, you have, you guys thought I was done, didn't you? Also, the community, through their billing, has received our consumer confidence report. that we mailed out this past, everybody got one of these in the mail. We are required to make sure that everybody knows these are available through the media. It should be in the newspaper. It should be,
Today.
pardon me?
Today,
Well, that's CSO. That wasn't a,
page 2.
page 2? Thank you very much. We want to make sure people know that you can download this off the internet on our website. Thanks to Ben, appreciate that. And also, you can come to the office, get it, and they are also in the mail to all the billed customers. So that's a requirement for us to make sure these are
I
available.
have one of those, I don't have one on my
Yep.
desk.
You're welcome to have, and we've got some at the office if you need them. And with that, I'm finished.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Anything for me?
Is this your last meeting?
This is it.
Yes,
This is it.
that's my last meeting.
Would you like to give a big speech? All in favor?
No, I've been at Connors Utilities, actually 42 years, but 40 years as a full-time employee. I've been blessed to have this job. I chose to continue to advance myself and educate myself. I look forward to those who come behind me to do the same, including the guy that may take this certified operator responsible charge. He'll need your support. He is a union person, he'll need your support. He needs to go to the classes and stay on top of things, so if you'll continue to support him as you have with me. I've got great people working with me. The ladies at the office, the guys on the street, at both plants. I've had good supervisors working with me. Just all I can say is I've been blessed for 40 years to work at Connors Utilities. I love it so much that I will probably go to work somewhere at a small utility.
Nothing that another year and a half wouldn't have done for you.
No, not with the way the retirement issue, and we've explained that before. It's time for me to go to save what I put in for 40 years and make sure I get that out.
Okay, we appreciate it, Dave.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dave.
God
Bless
bless
you. Wish you the best.
Old business. That means business that we haven't concluded yet. It doesn't mean that we're all old. No old business? None appearing miscellaneous business?
Still haven't heard from the appraiser on the property we're looking at for possible purchase on the ball fields, but I'm expecting that any day. Other than that, that's all I have.
You got anything, Mike?
No, I don't, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Fran?
No, that's nothing.
On miscellaneous business, there was a man came in, his mother is quite elderly and she's in a nursing home, doesn't plan to come back to Connersville. He doesn't plan to come back, and he had 2 lots up on Sherman Avenue, and he wanted to give them to the city. And as you know, when we take property, it's so hard to dispose of it. So I recommended to him that he give it to the Redevelopment Commission, and Redevelopment Commission could either give it to Habitat to build a house on. It's 2 nice lots. It's plenty big enough to build on. Or they could give it to, what's the other group? Habitat.
EDG or something?
Or EG, or they could actually let the school build a house on it. Should the school get in a position where they want to build a house and sell it, they could build a small home up there in their program. So I'll be turning that over to the Redevelopment Commission. I think it's this week they're meeting. But I put it in here because I think you should know about it. And I don't think you wanted the property, did you? Okay, or the other thing Redevelopment could do is they could divide it in half and give it half to each neighbor. We couldn't do that as a city. Right, John?
That's correct, we'd have to sell it.
Yeah. Redevelopment can do what they want with it. They're not as restricted. So I wanted to let you know about that. It made him happy, and hopefully we'll find some use. That fly's happy it's around here too. That's your fault. You're supposed to be policing this building.
That's life water.
I think unless you have something else,
Mayor, I think regarding that property, we better take a look at the title and make sure everything's in good shape
Well,
title-wise.
I told him, I've got it all here in the packet, you'll have to make a quick claim deed and send it to him if you wanna take it.
All right.
But I thought you
We'll
are
work
the
through
attorney for
redevelopment.
redevelopment, right?
Yeah, well, we'll address it then.
Okay.
Yeah. Pardon me.
Did you have something?
No, I think
David, did you have, I'm sorry, it says right here, public forum in pink, come on up, you're public. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm Mike Myers. I'm with the Fayette County Free Fair. And I've talked to Mr. Baker. We got our approval the other night on our variance for the barn down under the hill that we have. I had been in touch with Mike Bottomley, who couldn't be here this afternoon. And I think he had talked maybe to you on maybe somebody on the board being,
What we're going to do, and Mike and I have talked about this at length, and I've talked to Mr. Baker, we're gonna appoint Mr. Bottomley and either Fran or Ronnie. You've been kinda doing recreation, I pick on Fran all the time. They wanna get an agreement how they'll get back and forth from their barn over the track, and what about the use of the track and their responsibility for upkeep, and if there are any charges, what they will be. And I said it would be better, rather than this board try to negotiate, if we had a member of this board meet directly with the fair board and work it out. Do you want to do that?
Sure, that's fine, no problem.
So Ronnie will be your, so I'm appointing Ronnie and Mike agreed to it. They will serve as a committee, they'll come back to this board and recommend something, okay?
sounds great to me.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I approach Mike?
sure,
Mike?
come on up.
Mike and I have been talking about, how we can save the money and get water down there at the same time. The last time we talked, I don't know that I gave him a good impression of the safety aspect. We talked about him using the water lines that are currently in the 14 acres and then running a water line down to the new barn. And if you remember right, my concern was if we've got multiple people washing horses down there, what happens to the expo hall or someone on top of the hill? Do they lose pressure and then possibly creating a backflow, back siphoning situation? The more I think about that, at the time we weren't sure how we might do this. It may be best if they just go ahead and hook onto the water line that is down in by the horse barns. We have a fire hydrant down there, so there's a good sized water line down there. That may be the safest way they do that. We're just trying to figure out how we can do it the most economical way for the fair board. That way, we may probably end up having to have another meter, but I'd like to work with him and maybe even this week, if possible, to get all that worked out.
You need to take that information, that committee, because we won't meet again till
Okay.
July.
Okay.
I'll work with Dave, we'll figure it out.
very good.
Mike, I need a phone number, you got a phone number?
In-
Thanks, Mike.
Include that in your report, Ronnie, how you're
Okay.
gonna,
How we're gonna access water?
okay.
Yeah, phone number.
Have you got a septic tank down there then? Are you gonna have a bathroom down there?
5829.
Okay.
You're just gonna use water to wash horses?
Talk to Mike. Yeah. No problem.
All right. I made myself a note here, public parking, why did I do that? There was something I had to talk to you about. I can't think what it is, I just can't. I'm ready for claims.
Utilities, water was $168,634.40. Sewer was $183,546.40, of which $80,000 and change was the meters, and $25,000 and change was in bond transfers. Stormwater was $10,983.15. Trash was $52,206.28, about where it always stays, for a total of $415,370.23.
City claims.
I'd like to ask Julie on the claims of Whitewater Canal Byway Grant, professional services. Can you explain that?
Well, we have to pay it, but it's a reimbursable grant, so we get all that money
So it
back.
comes from somebody else.
Yes.
We're actually administering the grant for the byway.
That's what I thought, because nobody else wanted to do it.
Right, but it's a reimbursable grant, so all that money comes back to us once we pay for it.
Okay, for 69, almost $7,000. Okay, our total claims were $88,490.62, and the number was 183 for this period.
Are our claims down, Fran?
They're up a little bit, but not much. We had
Money's staying
one
about the same.
a month ago of only 44,000, but,
Did you compare it to last year? At this
oh,
time?
they're way under last year.
Yeah.
We were always above 100,000.
Okay, Julie and I have been talking, and what we're doing is working. However, we've got our tax draw, but she has not had the opportunity to reconcile it, to look at it in a scientific way, I should say. But we are going to have to keep all of the things I put in place in March in place. There's no way that we can lift anything. I mean, it's quite evident.
Sure.
I think this board understands that.
Yes.
Most definitely.
All right.
And
I finally figured out why I did this. The Supreme Court ruled on public prayer, and the entire thing should be in your back page.
Yes.
I want you to read that because
I did.
I think that's interesting. I put it in the packet for the city council too.
Yep.
Okay. And it pretty much gives an open street to do basically any kind of praying you want to. Did you read it, John?
Right, and the group that represented us in the matter that I worked with also represented the town of Greece in the Supreme Court hearing.
Did they?
Yeah. Which is interesting because I knew they were good and they gave us some invaluable information and we've used it for years. Including the policy we put into place and the disclaimers and so on.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we accept the claims as so stated. We missed that. Unless you want to.
Is there any discussion?
I'll second that motion, please.
Any discussion? Have a roll call vote on the claims.
Fran Schomel?
Yes.
Leonard Urban?
Yes.
Mike Bishop?
Yes.
Ron Coldiron?
Yes.
Okay. At the next Board of Works meeting, we will have the report of the handicap assessment. If you have any questions about it, it'll be at our next board meeting, right? I think, Mr. Baker, you might want to talk to those two gentlemen there. He asked me about your preparing the ordinance or the resolution.
No, the resolution's prepared, they sent it to us for approval and I looked at it and it's in good shape. Yeah.
So we'll be taking that. You didn't have anything, Fire Chief?
Well, other than firefighter Rick Berger drove a go-kart in the race and got second in the go-kart race.
Oh, good, that's better than breaking his arm.
Better breaking his
Street Department, I'm going on public record, I want you to buy some spray and start spraying the weeds.
Okay.
Okay?
We did.
Already bought it, just waiting for it to quit raining all day.
Okay. I can't stop the rain.
I can't either.
I missed
Did
it.
you have anything? None appearing, we can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
A motion to adjourn in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.